for all the divisions and everywhere, so that's where most of the buying is done for all the produce at Safeway. And then it comes to a warehouse here, and then we buy from here. They come to the stores, and we all get loads every single day. And I think, and there's nothing really we never can get in. Everything's all season long. You can get strawberries and bananas and all different kinds of stuff just from where it's all located and comes from. Yeah.
Does your store buy local foods?
Yeah,
Yes, we do.
They do. A lot like onions, potatoes, stuff like that, the hard stuff that they can keep in a warehouse. We get local. It's all locally, but all the like fruits, like strawberries and stuff, they're all still from the USA, but there are a lot of them are California and all the warm climate places where we get most of that stuff. If you're talking about like tropical fruits and stuff, that's all shipped from overseas.
Complete sentences, please. Just make sure that you're writing a complete sentence.
What? It is a complete sentence. There's comments. You already said no. Oh, wait, no. Does your store buy local food from states? From other parts of the
Now, did he already answer that, Priscilla? Think about everything that he said. Do we buy anything from any other parts of the United States? Did he say? Ah, so he's already given us a couple answers. So make sure you're listening and not repeating questions, okay? This is important when you interview somebody, because sometimes they give you all sorts of information that you didn't plan on.
This is
Okay.
California, another country.
No, California is another state in the United States. The United States is our country, so it's another state. But we
Is it like the
can
biggest
travel there
city?
without a passport.
So do they buy?
Not quite the biggest, no. It's one of the bigger ones.
What? But it looks so big. It's like.
Alaska.
Does
Alaska's
they-
the biggest.
Does your store buy other food from other countries? No.
Yeah, and I'll pass this around. This comes from stickers from all the fruits a lot of the fruits we have. And there's all different countries on there for where all this stuff comes from, so if you guys want to look at it.
How many of you guys have seen the stickers on fruits before?
Me.
How many of you guys have actually read them?
No.
Most of the time, I just pick them off and put them in the trash because
Yeah, there's something new the government passed, probably was about 3 years ago, Wayne. A cool, where everything's got to be labeled. You can't have anything that's not labeled from the country of origin. So it's either got to be on the fruit or on the tag. It's always got to be somewhere in like our invoices. We have every single place of where everything is from.
If you can't find out where something is from in the produce department, ask a produce clerk, because we have lots of information and we can tell you where anything comes from, usually. Do what?
So can you guys answer some of your questions on here now?
Yes, then yes.
Can you answer all of your questions yet?
We still need two more. We need three more.
How about somebody other than Priscilla
Number
starts
four?
asking questions? Okay, Gus and then Andy.
Does your store buy fruits from other countries? We already
What?
asked that.
Have they said anything about that?
Yeah.
Do they? Yeah, quite a few. Sorry, guys. All right. Gus, do you want to ask a different question then? Okay, Andy?
Based upon the three questions above, could you estimate which, percentage of fruits you buy or locally from other parts of the United States or from other countries?
You're asking what percent are local, what percent are from other parts of the U.S., and what percent are from different countries?
It's different around different parts of the United States because there are growing areas like California where a lot of stuff is going to come local. Here in Colorado, because it's cold outside, nothing's growing. So in the peak months, a lot of our produce comes local. What percentage is it?
I'm thinking like probably about 15–20% comes from the United States. And that's in the wintertime. Probably in the summertime, it's probably more like 40%.
Did you guys get those percents?
Not the first one.
Naisha, what percent comes from the United States? Say it again. Close, 15. Okay? Sometimes 50 sounds like 15, so you have to be careful. 15%. Is that a big amount or a little amount? 15% is a pretty small amount. Now, what about summertime? He said a little bit different in the summertime. 40%. How does that compare to half? Is that more or less than half? 40% is a little bit less than half.
40%.
Okay. Do we depend on other countries then?
Yeah.
When it comes to fruit and produce, we really do. Esperanza.
Okay. Do you buy foods when they're out of season? So for instance, do you buy peaches in the winter even though they are out of season? In other words, peaches are normally available in the summer.
You said the same thing 3 different times. 3 different ways.
Oh, that's how they said it on here.
You don't have to read word for word.
We do, and right now we have peaches. They're probably coming from Chile. In the peak season, all our peaches are Colorado peaches. Peak season, summertime, yeah, like late June, all of our peaches are coming from Colorado. And they grow them on the western slope, the other side of the mountains.
Now, are they asking only about peaches? He's sharing about peaches, which is great, but is that the only thing they're asking about on that question? Chile. There's a country that's called Chile.
Duh.
Yes.
No.
Chile is in South America.
Yeah.
I know. That's why you're giggling.
Our grapes come from Chile a lot of the times.
Okay, guys? Chile is right here. Turn around. Here's Denver in the United States. Chile, right there. Argentina. Peru. Where's Peru? Right there. Bolivia, Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay. Okay, a lot of our fruits come from this part of the world, right?
They speak Spanish.
No.
Oh, I get it. Okay. It took me a while to
Yes,
figure
that
that out.
Okay. Sorry. So we've got parts of the world that this comes from. Now, I've heard a lot of different words. He used the word peak. What does that mean, peak season? Summer.
The winter.
Not a ball.
No.
Angel, what do you think it means?
When you
Looking at me.
take the fruit, like when you grab fruits and take it to the store.
Okay. If I said that there was a peak running season, that would not have anything to do with fruit. So what do you think it means to be a peak season?
It's where peaches.
Because you're right that it comes kind of like with a mountain. Okay, they're talking about a graph, guys. That's why they use the word peak. So it ties to a graph. Brianna, what do you think? Maybe it's the start of something, right? Maybe it's the start of a season. Okay? It's a really good guess. Any other guesses before we put it out there and have people vote?
Somewhere
Maybe
where,
it's the start of a season. What else do you think?
where the peaches grow and there's peaches on the floor.
Okay, remember it's not always fruit, right? Because if you have the peak of a running season, that has nothing to do with fruit.
Tomatoes.
Okay?
Did you get this?
I hate that I don't have my
Cantaloupe.
music. Ladies, whatever's happening in the back of the room, is it that much more exciting? Please don't share answers. Thank you. All right. If I have a graph right here and I see a line and it goes up, does that usually mean I have more and more of something?
Yes.
And it gets to a point where that's the most that I have, and in the summertime, what do you think happens?
You go down. I know.
With peaches, do you think they keep growing more and more?
Yeah.
At some point, are they just gonna keep growing more, or at some point, are they gonna have to taper off and start doing less?
You're gonna have to start doing less because it's gonna get cold.
Okay, what shape is that, Brooke? What
It's
shape is that?
Triangle. A mountain.
It's a mountain.
hill.
Like a mountain, so the peak is where?
At the top.
So a peak season means it's the season that has the most. So Colorado has a peak season for peaches. Is that gonna be the same in Chile?
I don't know, I don't think so.
No.
When do we get peaches from Chile?
Every
In
day.
the wintertime. When do you think their peak season is?
In the summer.
In the winter for us.
Oh.
Winter, look up there. When it's winter in the United States, all the way down in Chile, it's summertime.
Right now?
Yep. If you were to go down to Chile right now, it's summertime. And that's why they can grow lots of peaches right now. And they can sell them throughout the world. Excuse me. Sit down. Janae, you're not helping. All right. So I need you guys to make sure that you have answers and understand what the peak season is. So I want to see that you have an understanding. If you're writing short little sentences, it probably is not going to get you full credit.
Miss, I'm gonna write a
You're looking at 3 out of 4 instead of 4 out of 4. I need to see complete sentences. Hey, Joseph. Anybody else need to see stickers? Okay, so can you pass them in that direction then when you're done? All right, did you guys have any other questions? I know there's none others on the book, but did you guys have any other questions for them? Did you want to see anything else? Like I heard him talk about an inventory list. Maybe you want to know what an inventory list is.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Priscilla. What's your question, Janae?
You guys go, like, say you guys go to California to go pick up the babies. Do you guys pick them out and have somebody else?
Our buyers do that. We have buyers, how many do you think, like 10,
Here or in Arizona?
Arizona?
It's probably about 10 or 15 in the office.
Yeah, they go all over the place, all the fields and everywhere to check and they try to buy the best product they can. Wherever they can get it and get it at the best price. Usually they probably have people in Chile and stuff that do that for them. Our buyers do, but they probably don't do that. Does anybody else, parents grow a garden or anything? No?
Any gardens?
Nobody grows tomatoes? They don't grow very good right now, but.
And what if you go for notice something?
uh,
Something, because maybe that baby went out.
That happens.
It can happen, yeah. Things go wrong, there's supply shortages. You know, let's say you have a truck that's all full of pears and it's bringing it to the warehouse and it breaks down. We might be out of pears for a day or two.
Sometimes the fruit is hard when they're supposed to be soft.
What
Meaning it's not ripe yet.
what kind of fruit are you talking about?
Like those one things with the like kind of peach fuzz. Peaches. They're like real rough. They're hard.
Like rock hard.
Yeah.
Why do you guys, is that your question? Why would something not come to the store to be ripe?
Or like bananas.
If it's from Chile, how long do you think that takes a week for them to get that here?
Probably at least.
Yeah, and they pick it really, really green. And I don't know if you guys have ever tried like a peach this time of year, but if you ever go into the Safeway, look us up and we'll cut you a little slice of one. But yeah, they're, compared to the ones we get here from Palisade
Do
are
you-
not too good, but.
Do you guys have suggestions for how you ripen them up when you get them home?
Don't refrigerate, first of all. Take your fruit home. If you put fruit right into the refrigerator, you turn off the ripening process.
What's that mean?
Means
Well,
that
they're
when the
already ripe.
peaches are kind of rock hard and they're really solid, you want them to be softer and they get so much more flavor to them and they get sweeter. So what he's saying is if you put it in the refrigerator, it stops that process and it keeps it in that rock hard stage.
They like it.
So you want to let it continue, it's basically like it's continuing growing, okay? So it's continuing to grow and ripen.
Oh, that sounds good.
And you have to do that out in the refrigerator, okay?
Look, it doesn't have a
Okay.
skin. How does it grow?
We're listening right now because he's not quite done. Sorry.
So don't refrigerate. Put it out in a fruit bowl. Put it around other fruit. All fruit gives off a gas. It's called ethylene, and that actually aids in the ripening process. So if you keep your fruit together, it's going to ripen faster. So if you have bananas, you don't want them to turn black. Get them away from your other fruit, and get them away from heat.
Oh, banana? Good.
Oh, I have a question.
Okay, Kristen?
If you put bananas in the fridge, like, are you allowed to do that, or do they taste? Do they
Would
get
they
bad?
last longer if you put them in the fridge? Is it
I
good?
do when they get so ripe where they won't last another day. You can put them in the fridge and they'll probably last, what, about 3 or 4 more days. The outside will turn green, ugly looking, but the inside of the banana will stay.
But can you eat a banana cold?
Yeah.
Oh my god, Kristen, what's your...
Oh, but you can eat them frozen, you can freeze them, they're good.
Oh yeah, I always and then I get another.
I ate a banana cold and I'm sick.
Thank you for the details, okay. Brooke, did you have another question then?
Yeah, how do they grow? You like,
It's a ripening process, not completely growing, so it's not growing anymore. So it's kind of the seed inside and everything else, like you said, the gases kind of help the fruit to ripen, even off the plant. Guys, if they waited for them to ripen on the vine or on the tree and then sent them, what might happen when they're shipping them?
they're gonna get rot.
So does it make sense if you know that you have to ship it and it's going to take a full week for it to get there? Does it make sense to pick everything when it's perfectly ripe? Does that make sense? No, because otherwise it'll come to you and it'll be rotten. Priscilla, you have another question?
Why can't they plant their own pizza without having shifting? Because it's on the ground in the back.
I know why.
Priscilla, how much room do you think they have to grow this kind of stuff?
I know.
Do you think they have a lot of room or very little room? You think they have a lot of room in Safeway to grow this? How much, have you seen a farm? Because I might need to show you some pictures of farms. Farms need lots and lots of room to grow plants. But we don't have near enough room of trees. You can't even get all the oranges you need off of one tree. You have to have hundreds of trees, and it's called an orchard. And so there's just not enough space.
Orange comes off a tree. Can't they just get
That would be a farm, and then they would have to own their own farms. Does Safeway own their own farms?
Should I do stupid out?
Okay. Probably too expensive, would be my guess. Then they have to pay for the land, and then they have to pay for the workers to come in and harvest it. As the buyer, they only have to pay for the fruit, whatever the farmer decides to charge. Just eases up the work. They don't have to have as many employees. Brianna? Okay.
Like, because, like, people, like, in the winter, like, you know how, like, stuff is, like, growing right now? Like, isn't it because, like, people, like, right now, like, still want, like, stuff that, like, grows in the summertime, and, like, it can't grow in the winter?
Yeah, that's why a lot of our stuff is, in the wintertime, is from Chile. Chile and Mexico, we get like cantaloupes.
Where do you think the oranges we have right now are coming from?
Right here.
It doesn't matter.
It's a good guess, but we're actually getting Australian oranges right now.
Okay,
Look up here on
so
the map.
other side of the globe, all the way down here. Australia. That's where our oranges are coming from.
It must be good, Dutch.
Okay?
Oranges get to go.
The edge of Australia is kind of like over here, so if they ship it, they have to go all the way across the Pacific Ocean and up there. Because remember, this is like a big circle. So normally this would be connected together. Okay?
Okay.
All right, any other questions for these gentlemen? 'Cause then you guys have an assignment to do.
Oh my
Everyone
god.
has questions.
Okay,
Take longer.
Brooke
Yes.
first and then Esperanza.
Oh no, I showed my hands so they wouldn't make us do that.
Okay, Esperanza.
Okay, so when the fruit gets like rotten in the little holders, you know, do that just throw it away? Or do you guys just leave it there?
Most of it we have to, yeah, we have to dispose of. We do have people that come in that have animals, chickens, pigs.
People would come into the store and just pick everything.
They don't bring the animals into the store now.
Oh, okay.
But the majority, we have to get rid of.
Oh, and people,
Oh my God.
chickens, they come in to fruit and feed it to them.
Yes.
Okay. Zaria.
What's the best place to store fruits?
Go ahead,
Outside of
I'd
the
say on
fridge?
top of the refrigerator.
It depends on the fruit, it depends on what you want to store. Like if you buy an apple today, or you buy a bag of apples, chances are you're not gonna go home and eat the whole bag of apples. So you wanna refrigerate those apples, so they'll keep longer. Now, if you buy bananas, you don't want to put those in the refrigerator if they're not ripe. So, storage, it depends on what you want to do with it. I know people that take their bananas and they put them on top of the refrigerator. Well, that's going to make them ripen a lot faster because it's hotter up there. Heat rises, heat comes from the back of the refrigerator. So if you want to keep them longer, you'd store them somewhere cooler. So it depends on what you're storing.
Andy, Priscilla, and then Esperanza.
Where do you buy your meat?
Okay, these guys work in the produce department, so they might know that answer, but they may not.
Go ahead.
So we'll see if they know.
We do buy a lot from Montfort, which is a Colorado company. But meat, it can come from all over the United States.
Mexico.
There is some that comes in from Mexico.
Kids bad.
Am I next, Miss?
Yeah, Priscilla and then Esperanza. Sorry.
Can you guys like tell people what's going on and give it to the people help?
Like homeless and shelters.
That'd be a great idea. The problem is, it's kind of hard for us to set something like that up. And a lot of our fruits and vegetables, anything that's dated, we have to dispose of. We can't do it.
And then it's not very nice to give to a homeless shelter food that's not good. And when food starts to rot, it's not healthy, and people should not eat it, which is part of the reason they have a law that says that we have to take it off the shelf. And if it's not bad yet, then they have an opportunity to sell it. So it's difficult to say, it's about to go bad, and if by tomorrow it'll be bad, and I probably won't sell it. It's hard to predict.
And they do donate a lot of breads and stuff like that.
Those do go.
Yeah.
Okay? So fruit would be tough. Esperanza and then Gus.
So when you eat like an apple and then you set it there and then you go do something and then it gets like brown or green or like whatever that little color is.
Avocado does it as well.
Why? Why?
A lot of that is a process they call oxidation, which, I'm not a scientist, so I can't explain
You're
oxidation.
getting more into science right now.
But fruit has a protective skin, just like we do. So you puncture that skin, and it's going to go bad a lot faster. Oxygen gets in, bacteria gets in, and it starts to break down.
I always get around this.
It usually isn't bad for you. When it just turns brown initially, it's not bad for you. It still tastes the same. Gus, and then I think we're going to have to be done and say thank you very much because class is over at, never mind, 43. We still have time. So, Gus, and then Brett.
It's just a question. Have you ever tricked someone into buying bad fruit?
Wow.
I trick Dave into buying bad food all the time. I make him eat hot peppers, all kinds of stuff like that.
Do you think customers are going to want to come back if they get tricked into buying bad food?
No, I go and.
Do you think they have is there any other choices, or is Safeway the only place that sells fruit? Okay, there are other places, aren't there? So, do you think they want to be helpful, or do you think they want to be tricky? Probably helpful, so that they have people that want to come back.
Yeah.
Probably not tricky.
If you come in and ask me, what's the best apple you have?
Oh, Granny's
I'm going to ask you, what do you like? Do you like sweet? Do you like tart?
I like sweet.
One time I had the bombest apple ever. It was like so.
Are you talking about grapples? Have you ever had grapples?
No.
What? That's a good question to ask.
Yeah.
What's a grapple?
Apples.
It's an apple that tastes like a grape.
What?
But we all know the secret that it's just grape Kool-Aid on the apple.
They do. They kind of taste like very cool.
That's
Very serious. If you've never had a grapple, you'll have to go by Safeway and see if you guys have grapples right now.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So you guys will have to pick up a grapple. They're very good.
I
The produce aisle.
don't know.
And you would just go and find somebody who works there and just say, do you have any grapples? And then we'll help you find them.
Hey,
What embarrassing is
You can. You're capable of it.
I hate when my mom makes
Okay,
me laugh.
I had a question over here and then Brianna. Who had the question over here? No, Zaria.
Wait, but how does that happen?
Grapple?
Dave and an apple, what, do they get together? I don't get it.
They play some soft music. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Information.
This is
Nobody buy it.
We probably took that one.
I don't know how that works. I think it's just a type of apple.
probably
It's
take it wrong.
It's
It's
not a
actually a
hybrid.
process.
Is it a hybridized?
No.
Why did they forget?
They do. They introduce that flavor with gas and stuff.
Do they melt?
Okay. So the same, I'm assuming the same process as ripening, where
Kind of, yeah.
certain gases help things to ripen, they
Yeah,
just
they can
expose it
introduce
to a gas
ethylene
that's
to
great
ripen.
flavor.
They do the same kind of thing, yeah. Yeah.
So it's a process.
Ha!
So they grow in a tree exactly the same, and then it melts. The grapevine.
My guess is the process happens off the tree.
Yeah.
Okay. So the process doesn't happen on the tree. They collect all the apples and they expose them to gases that would make them have a grape.
Oh.
But every kind of fruit, that would be impossible, because there are so many fruits in the world. There are, if you look at a store and you see varieties of apples, that's just like the tip of the iceberg. And by that I mean a small percentage. There are hundreds of varieties of apples. And every year they discover new varieties of apples.
What?
If you,
Even more?
oh, sure, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Kristen, I haven't heard from you yet, and then Janae.
Something about dragon fruit.
Dragon fruit, one of Dave's favorites.
Oh, it does exist?
What is it?
It's been a long time since we've got that in.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have got it in before.
What is it?
Dragon fruit?
Yeah, what is it?
It's, I don't know, red with the white flesh inside.
What?
We might have a picture of it here.
All right, you're gonna look and see if they have a picture of dragon.
Do you guys know?
It actually sounds scary.
Okay, Janae, do you want to ask your question while he's looking for a picture?
At one time, all the kiwi came from New Zealand, and they were the biggest kiwi producer. And our kiwi comes either California, New Zealand. The biggest kiwi producer in the world, believe it or not, is Italy. But we don't see Italian kiwi.
I didn't know Italy. Andy.
What is the famous apple?
The most famous apple?
Probably right now, I would say it's Honeycrisp. That's probably the most popular.
That's an apple. I don't know
Honey
about
crisp?
fruits.
It's a good apple. Very crisp, a lot of flavor, a little bit sweet, a little bit tart, really juicy. It's a good apple.
Pretty juicy.
And all the apples, pretty much everything we get comes from Washington State. A lot of apples from there.
Daria?
You can go.
Okay, Priscilla then.
Dear apples, when you bite into it, how do you know if it's gone?
If it's what?
If you bite into an apple, you know it's nasty, so that's that, yeah. No, because then if it was nasty, it'd have like a.
How do you tell whether an apple's good or not?
Yeah. Or do apples ever get bad?
They do, yeah. The first thing you want to do with all fruit is to look at it, because your eyes are going to tell you a lot. If an apple is wrinkled, chances are it's getting old, and it's the juices are evaporating out of it, it's shrinking. Kind of, yeah, like a dried
What if
apple.
you put
Yeah.
it in water?
That's not going to help.
Or in the fridge?
All right.
That won't help.
Angel?
Why do apples like some are squishy?
Some apples are squishy?
Yeah, like some like when I eat them like they're hard and then some are squishy.
I think he's talking about like the difference between a red delicious and then
Okay.
like a honey. So you've got,
That's just the different varieties, and I don't like Golden Delicious and Red Delicious are probably the two softest apples.
Ooh.
That, I don't know, that, to me, they don't have a lot of flavor. Some people love them. I don't care for them, I don't know.
all right.
I'm a Granny Smith guy.
Guys, both of these gentlemen have come on their time off. So Dave hasn't even gotten to work yet. This is before his shift starts. He still has a full day ahead of him. And Wayne is coming from vacation. So he's supposed to be on vacation this week, and they both chose to come in here and talk to you guys. So I would really like you guys to thank them, give them a round of applause. Thank you. This is the last thing you guys need to do, since you guys didn't want to do it in class. I completely understand, so now you have homework. I need you guys to do me a favor. Go ahead and take out a blank sheet of paper.
Oh.
I want you to write down, what was our learning goal today? I want you to come up with 3 examples of how we are interdependent when it comes to fruit and produce. 3 examples of how we are interdependent. Remember, to be dependent on something means we have somebody who is going to help us meet our needs. They are going to help us meet our needs, right? So my children are dependent on me. All of their needs, I get that for them. I get their food, I get their clothing, I get their housing, okay? They are dependent on me. Independent. Independent means you meet your own needs. Interdependent means you need other people and they need you. You're not dependent on other countries, but we're interdependent. So we talked about other countries that give us stuff. But do you think that we give them something?
Yeah.
Don't do that. What do we give them for their fruit? Money, right? So do you think that they're depending on us for money? To buy their fruit from them? And do you think that we depend on them to have fruit here in our country?
Yep.
Guys, fruit is part of the reason that we can stay healthy. Believe it or not, there used to be all sorts of diseases, things called scurvy, that they used to have to deal with when we didn't have fruits and stuff that were out there. So there's all sorts of health reasons that we do need to have fruits available all year long. All right, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
I think we're done.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
Very much, really appreciate it.
Are you kidding me, bro?
No, you don't.
Okay, well, can I ask you?
Okay, so on your own piece of paper, 3 examples of how we are interdependent based on fruit and stuff.
Okay. How do I have an F?
Fruit and produce. 3 things, that's pretty easy, right? You can do that before you leave. 3 things, 3 ways that we are interdependent. That we depend on other countries and other countries depend on us.
I thought you said between us and them. What are you?
Yeah.
Interdependent means they need you and you need them. It means you need each other. Okay? If all of a sudden the United States stopped doing business with Chile, the United States would be sad and Chile would be sad. You're both hurt by it. Okay?
I know, it's not like a poach.
She helps them make the masks.
I'm done.
Three ways that they're interdependent. I'm expecting kind of 3. I'm expecting probably 3 sentences. One way that we're interdependent is. Another way that we're interdependent is. Finally, we are also interdependent because. Okay, I'm looking for 3 kind of statements. Those of you who didn't do the assignment yesterday with your passports, you do need to try and come in at lunch today. Just come back to this room. And you guys just need your workbooks, and it's pretty simple. You just open up your passport and you fill it out. It'll be very quick. You have to be here anyway, so you'll get your workbook. You have a good time.
I don't know.
Janae.
Okay, class is going to be over in about a minute and 2 minutes. You still have 2 minutes. So try to finish this up as quick as you can because then you don't have homework. This is due by tomorrow, but if you want to hand it to me today, that's fine. Please make sure your first and last name is written on this paper.
I don't know.
I'll do it later. Just all 3 of them, just 3 different ways that we're interdependent. I can't let you take your workbook and passport home. I have to do this, so that's why I kind of want you guys.
I didn't do no such thing.
Whenever it works for you, and you just have to have it done by Friday.
Miss, so we have to finish these, we don't finish them in the next minute, we have to finish that.
Yeah, by Friday I need this. But if you bring it to me tomorrow, then you don't have to worry about bringing it. Okay, I I need you guys to do me a favor. Janae has already started a pile for your workbooks. I need all of your workbooks up here in a nice neat stack, please.
Miss, what's my favorite?
Good.
Ashley, they're still recording.
You are still recording. Name, date, and blog. Guys, name, date, and blog at the top.
Mr. Levy said they recorded
Guys, I'm taking it home because
Not me though.
you were welcome.
No, when you were up there.
I was never up there.
Yeah, you were.
Miss
When
Lewis
they
said
just
you
left,
have the video
you were like up there or stacking something.
You were videotaping us? No, it's video.